Started asking, but can you explain the candle of no bottom wick? Which one? The 5 no bottom wick? Like this no bottom wick here? Or sorry, this no bottom wick here? When you have no bottom wick on a bullish candle, you will likely come down to create a bottom before coming up. So when you have no bottom wick, like if we weren't to enter and this is how things were looking, yeah, at this point, I'll probably be like, okay, Chad, I need a bottom wick here before looking for buys up. But once you get the bottom wick and you flip, you can look for the wick fill up now. Right, so that's kind of what happened there. No bottom wick on a bearish closure is different though, because no bottom wick on a bearish closure indicates you have no range to drive down, because a wick on the smaller time frame below whatever candle you're looking at is just a range. So for instance, like if you were to have a wick here, this would be a range, right? This bottom wick here would be a range. How is it a range, you may ask? Well, look at it this way. So let me just do this example real quick, chat. I know you guys have heard 1,000 times, right? But like it's very valuable for those who are new. But like, look, let's say this is a candle with a top wick, right? If you were to have no top wick, it means you have no range. Why? Because this is how the candle looks. This is how the candle looks, right? So no wick equals no range. So if you were to like look over and drop down to a smaller time frame, what you'll see here is you'll see, okay, this is a 4-hour time frame. Let's go down to the 1-hour time frame. This is what the 1 hour is gonna look like. The 1 hour will look like this. So as it looks like this, the last candle that pulls back for the wick will likely pull back like this, which means that this is how it ends up looking, right? So look at this. This wick here is now what? It's a range, support, and resistance. This is the range you're in. So when you have a wick fill, right, and you fill the wick up, all you're really doing here is you're just closing bullish support on a small time frame, which is the 1 hour candle here, to continue dropping up, which is a higher low being formed, which is liquidity being formed on a higher time frame, right? So people might say this is liquidity. People might say this is a higher low market structure. People might say this is an FEG or off of these levels here. But that's all the same shit. So as that happens, you have a range fill, therefore you likely continue up. But when you don't have a wick, look what happens. You don't have range, right? We don't have a wick. Let's say you look like this. This is all the candle did. Right? There's maybe a low wick there, but overall, like any given point, when you drive, you likely need a range first, grab liquidity to continue driving, because it's drive range liquidity. In this situation, you have a drive here. I mean, yeah, it could drive up still, don't get me wrong, but like to confirm that it's gonna continue driving up, the higher probability play will be waiting to see if you can print a range here. Right? So then you'll see this form. Now you have a range form, cool. And then once you actually close above the range, okay, cool. You can avoid, you could ignore the fact that this kind of has no top wick, but you need liquidity. Right, so when you have no wick, you have no range, and that's why like when you have no top wick on a closure like that, I likely would tend to stay out of my trades. Like for instance, if this candle were to close bullish like this, I would not enter the next 5 candle, because I would assume that the next 5 candle would reject. In this case, it didn't, but it's all probability, right?